Boom.
Hey.
That's a little bit of prayer. A little bit of prayer goes a long way, baby. Let's go. Yo. So that's actually an incredible start to this. I'm sorry that we are,
2 minutes
Two
late.
minutes behind. Technology wasn't working.
Yeah.
And this is not to tout me or my prayer life, because my prayer life could be a lot better. However, it is to say that in that moment, I was like, oh, this isn't working. Okay, let me pray. And sure enough, bam, it went in. So thank you guys. We've already got 10 people in the chat.
Bro, that's kind of crazy.
Which is crazy to think about. Thank you guys for joining. My name is Justice.
I'm Joe.
And this is the guest room. We are really excited to do this. Just to give you a little bit of background. Hello, we see you guys. We out here. To give you guys a little bit of background for what this is, about maybe 5 months ago, Jordan and I started a podcast where we talked about topics, real situations, everything from fast food to dating to Halloween, et cetera, et cetera. And the Lord saw fit that Christian dating has been one of the things that we've gotten the most traction on with this podcast, with this experience, whatever you want to call this space that we're doing right now. And so over the course, we had the opportunity to go to 2 college campuses to do a message about Christian dating, and then to follow that up with a Q&A panel. Actually, 3.
Well, 2 campuses.
2 campuses.
One church.
One church.
And then another church.
Yeah. And so the most recent place that we went was the BCM at Milledgeville at Georgia College State University. If you are currently on the chat right now from the BCM and Georgia State, y'all make some noise in the thread. We are very excited for you guys to be here.
Y'all were hyped. It was a good time.
It was really good. And so during that stay, we got a lot of good questions. And quite frankly, we didn't get to all of them. And so that's why we're doing this here. Yeah. Our desire is to dive deeper into that question pool. Do I think we're going to finish all of them? I honestly don't. There are a lot of questions, but what we're going to do is do as much as we can. So
let's just get into it.
Let's do it. If you guys are ready, we are certainly ready.
We have a randomizer.
Yeah.
That is just spitting out numbers for us. Mm-hmm. So we're just gonna
go for it.
So they say 27 first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we can already answer that one.
We did, yeah. We answered that one. We're just gonna skip it because we already answered it.
Yeah. Let's see.
We answered it at the college campus.
Okay, so what do you think about praying together while you're dating? What about studying scripture together? How funny. This is literally the question that sent us like many viral where people we didn't know were just commenting, and some people were coming for our necks.
People weren't happy about
Some people were agreeing, but it was very interesting. So
I think it's very fitting. That's individuals, which I'll go ahead and speak to it. We had a lot of individuals who either felt the need, definitely defensive, but I think if I had to guess, their hurt came from the fact that my hot take was essentially Christians stop reading your Bible and praying with your significant other. And I phrased it just like that. And people didn't like that, quite frankly. There were a lot of people who said things like, don't tell people that, or this is ungodly advice. I prayed with my husband when we were dating and we're married now, et cetera, et cetera. And so the first thing I want to say to that point is not to negate what I said, but in a more humble way and in a more maybe poignant way that allows people to receive it. I want to say that it's not that you are sinning. If you are doing Bible studies or praying with your significant other, I don't think that you're going to hell, nor do I think that you are necessarily on the road to doing sin. Mm-hmm. However, we believe in pacing. and not just pacing in one category, but pacing in all of the categories of dating. And so Bible studies and praying with your significant other that's not your husband or spouse, just your boyfriend or girlfriend, that creates spiritual connection that goes deep. It's an intimacy. Whether you see it that way or not, we see it as no different than kissing. And in some cases, maybe even deeper than kissing. I'll let you guys decide how deep you want to go with that. And so because of that spiritual intimacy, we recommend that you hold off on doing those things. You don't need to pray in Bible study with your significant other. Hopefully you have friends in your corner that you can do that with. If you're a guy, hopefully that you've got a group of guys that you can do that with, or you've got a roommate that you can do that with. If the only person that you can pray or Bible study with is your significant other, you're probably not.
But you're just missing it.
Yeah.
You're missing a key aspect of faith, which is community.
Yeah.
And your boyfriend or your girlfriend can be a part of your community, but they can't be the totality of it.
That's good.
Because that's not a community.
It's not a community. That's good.
And so then another way that I like to describe it or give a visual for is that when we read the word, when we're praying, that's a moment where we are getting to know the Father. We are becoming more intimate with the things of God. And so to think that magically stops when we're human to human is unrealistic. Those are tools to know the Father better. So to think that you're going to enter into those activities with your significant other that you do have an interest in and think that you're suddenly just going to be able to cut off that intimacy is unrealistic, and you're setting yourself up for a failure. And so we just implore people to exercise those activities together with caution.
Yeah. What would you say would be the worst case scenario? Not that this is something that's going to, it's not that we're operating in a place of fear, but we believe that we're operating from a place of wisdom. So let's say you do a Bible study or you're praying regularly with your significant other. What is a worst case scenario?
I think it's similar to what can happen when you become too physically intimate with someone too soon, is that it clouds your judgment for whether you should be with that person or if you need to let them go. And I say that because it's so easy when you're reading the word together, when you're praying, and now you're like, oh, I'm not really vibing with this person, but they only read the Bible when they're with me. Oh, I drive them to church. They go to my community group. Oh, well, I call them every night at 10 p.m. to pray. What's going to happen when I'm not there anymore? And I think that's where it can get a little dangerous because your spiritual life has become one and you guys are not one.
That's it. That's the piece. Say that one more time.
Your spiritual life has become one, but you guys are not one. And so I guess from a protective standpoint, I want to offer people as much freedom, but I think oftentimes people think freedom is doing whatever you want, but freedom is understanding the boundaries.
Yeah, that's good. And I would even say for most people, when we give that advice, they're like, so we can never pray without never? What if they're sick or whatever? And typically I'm a words person. So typically the feedback that I give to them is we don't recommend praying with, right? Because with implies a sense of frequency. It implies an intimacy, but always pray for. Always pray for. I'll say that one more time. You can pray with, or excuse me, it's not that you should never, never, never pray with, but we definitely recommend that you do pray for. Even before you know the person, I recommend you pray for your spouse. Your spouse is out there right now. Who knows what they're doing? You're on this live listening to our advice and suggestions about Christian dating, but maybe who knows where your future individual will be. Pray for them, for them. But you don't have to pray with them. And pray for their people in the same way that you hope to find a group of people that you can pray with. Pray for them to find people to pray with. So
I'm going to say the follow-up to this question, and then we're going to move on, or
Yeah.
else we will not get
we
through
won't
any
get
of
any
these.
more. Yeah.
The follow-up question that we usually get to this when we share our opinion on it is that, well, how am I supposed to know if they really love the Lord? How am I supposed to know what their spiritual maturity is? And here's
the parentheses. How do I know if they truly love the Lord if I don't witness their Bible study and their prayer life firsthand?
Yes, and this is what we always say. You will know them by their fruits, right? So if they have a relationship with the Lord, that they are living out, that they are walking in, that they are reading their word, that they are praying, that they are in community, that they're being discipled or discipling others, you will see the fruit of that in their life. And so if you're asking the question, that suggests to me that you may not see the fruit. And it's so if the only way you can see the fruit is by going to the coffee shop to open the Bible together, I would question if that's fruit or
crazy.
if that is behavior that they're turning on for you.
That's good.
And so if they're turning on behavior for you, they will one day turn it off for you. So proceed with caution. Look for fruit that has nothing to do with you, because that is a better testament to who they are as a person.
We gotta dig in right there. We gotta get some more questions. But what she means by that fruit, right, is you're looking for them to display the Holy Spirit in their life.
Yeah.
And so you're looking for that Holy Spirit in a Bible study. When the reality is, we know that the fruit of Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Are they exhibiting those in their daily living?
Yeah.
If they take you on a date, are they showing kindness, patience, and self-control with the waiter, or are they not? And if they're not showing those things in a regular setting, you don't need a Bible study to know how much they know the word, because the word's not in them, because it's not coming out.
Yeah.
Gotta stop. We gotta stop. We gotta get to the next one. I hope that you guys are vibing with this.
Okay. 15. How to prepare for dating as a single woman. Unfortunately for you, I don't have an answer for you to how to prepare as a single woman, because I think your preparation is to become a wife, not to become someone's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so I think that happens in community with accountability. And so you can decide what that looks like, who that is. I know that it was incredibly beneficial to me when I was single and I desperately wanted to be in a relationship, married, all of those things. The best thing for me was finding a group of girls who loved the Lord and desired those things too. And those girls are still stuck to my side to this day, that have walked through seasons of life with me. And it had less to do with me thinking about, I'm trying to become a girlfriend. How do I become a girlfriend? And more about how do I lean into the Lord? Like where are the gaping holes in my life that could use some refining, some reflection, things like that. So I would say the best preparation is community and accountability, because they are going to they're going to hold a mirror up to your life in a way that you need, that you can't do alone. Aside from, Bible study, prayer by yourself.
And then I will say, speaking specifically to the women, I believe faithfulness is mirrored in how we look at Christ, right? If we take the parable of the virgins who are waiting for Christ to return, or the bridegroom to return, who we know is Christ, right? They're the faithful 5 who bring enough oil to last through the night. Then there's the unfaithful 5 who don't bring enough to last for the night. What am I saying there? In the same way that we as Christians are meant to wait faithfully for the bridegroom to return, I believe that as single women, your faithfulness to your husband, that's a bar. Oh my gosh. The faithfulness to your husband starts before your husband even gets there. So are you faithful in that waiting season in the same way that the 10 virgins were asked to be faithful, aka the church is asked to be faithful to Christ before he comes back? As a single woman, your faithfulness starts now. So are you faithful with your body to your future husband? Are you faithful with your thoughts in your mind? Are you faithful with your mouth? Are you faithful with your studies? Are you faithful with whatever, your money, right? If you want to be married and you say my spouse is out there and I'm waiting for them, How are you being faithful now for his coming day? Boom.
Yeah. Next question. Number 1. Let's see. How to forgive yourself when you have given up your virginity in the past and you struggle with purity.
Say it one more time.
How to forgive yourself
Mhm.
when you have given up your virginity in the past and you struggle with purity.
So one of the things that we talked about during the session that we had in Milledgeville was the idea that virginity obviously is a sexual physical thing in one definition.
Mm-hmm.
However, when you biblically, there's virginity sexually, but there's also virginity spiritually. And whether or not you have your virginity sexually or spiritually, the truth of the matter is we're also called to be virgins spiritually. And so, how do you forgive yourself? How do you forgive yourself for your shortcomings? I think that you're called to forgive yourself in the same way you're called to forgive yourself when you sin in other ways, right? So if you're able to forgive yourself for disobeying your parents, or if you're able to forgive yourself for lying, right? I know it's hard to see those things as the same, but the truth of the matter is you falling short of the glory of God sexually is the same kind of sin where you did not live up to what God had planned for you. That's not just you, but it's everybody. That's why Jesus came. And so the forgiveness that you should afford yourself has to come through that blood, has to come through the blood of the Lamb. And then from that, you are working from forgiveness, not toward forgiveness. So you're not working to forgive yourself. You're working from being already forgiven. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? I hope that real quick, if y'all are in the chat, can you let me know if that made sense? Working from forgiveness and not to forgiveness.
I think the other, what I'll add on to that is I was watching a devotional and he was talking about how forgiveness can sometimes we say like, oh, I just haven't forgiven. Oh, I just haven't forgiven. But in reality, you have forgiven with a level of knowledge that you have. But as your knowledge grows, you have to forgive again with greater knowledge. And so in this example, he gave a son who his dad left him when he was a child. And so he forgave him as a child, and then he got married. And then he felt himself angry at his dad again. And he was like, I can't figure out why. And he realized, oh, now I have to forgive him as a husband who left his wife. And then when he had a kid, he was angry again. And he was like, why am I angry again? Like, I thought I forgave him. And he realized, nope, I got to forgive him again as a dad because I'm looking at my child and I cannot understand how he would leave me. And then again, he had to forgive him as a grandfather. Like, how could he just opt out on this? And so what I'd offer you is that perhaps you have forgiven yourself on a basic level of, hey, I did that. It wasn't the best choice. But maybe as you're beginning to think about marriage or going into your next relationship, or as you struggle with maintaining not any sexual activities or, whatever, it's kind of vague. So I don't know what your specific thing is that you're dealing with. But as you are dealing with that, perhaps there's another level of forgiveness with the greater knowledge that you have and a greater understanding that you have as you move forward in life. So I'd offer that. There's no shame in the kingdom. There's no room for it. We are big believers that Jesus he's not a God of shame, of condemnation, but there is conviction. And so to your other point about struggling with purity, you're going to hear us say it 1,000 times, but community and accountability. You've got to find the person that you feel safe and comfortable with, that you can be 100% honest. Like when you're in the act about to fall or mid-moment, whatever it is, that's how comfortable you need to be with that person.
Yeah.
That they can call you on it, that you feel comfortable being like, I told you I wasn't going to do it and I still did it.
Yeah.
You need to have that level of comfort with them. So that could be someone at your church, that could be a parent, that could be a close friend, and it might not be any of those people. You might have to start over with someone new that doesn't know everything about you that you're comfortable with, but you need that person that you can call to hold you accountable to that. I think both of us have seen the fruit of our life of having people who can be like, nah, bro, you kind of jacked on that one, or like, nah, you're slipping. That's a mistake right there.
Yeah.
You need that, and you can pray and you can fast and you can read your word. But as long as you are in solitude, that's where the enemy flourishes. In the darkness is where he flourishes. And so if you're trying to do it by yourself, I believe God can do anything, that he's a big God and he can deliver you without the help of anybody else. But I do see time and time again in the word where he encourages us to be in fellowship with believers and walking this thing out. So that's my biggest push. If you take nothing away, is find your community, find your accountability. And it could be your best friend, but it may not be. And that's okay.
And the word for that all the stuff that she just said, which was really good, the word for that is confess.
Yeah.
Confess. A lot of times the secrecy is what's killing you. You're not able to forgive yourself, nor are you able to receive God's forgiveness because you've yet to confess it. James 4 actually speaks to that. I've been here on my phone trying to find it, but I think because I don't have my Bible, I just can't. I'm struggling to orient myself. I can see it on the page, but I can't find it on my phone screen. But in James 4, it speaks to receiving forgiveness, confessing in order to be prayed for, to receive healing. James 4 says, be healed by confessing. We're not even going to get into that, but there is a give and take relationship when it comes to confessing, shining a light on those things, and being able to receive what God has for you, and that includes forgiveness. So make sure you guys are confessing your sins because it does wonders in that category. Let's see, we got a few comments here. Let me see if there's any questions in here. That's some bars. That's good. Joe, that was bars. Let's go. Perfect sense. Excellent. So it seems like they understood the moving from forgiveness and not toward forgiveness. That's good. No questions.
We got to move faster. It's almost 10:30. Okay. What if they are addicted to pornography and you found out after you started dating?
What if they being your significant other,
are addicted to pornography, but you found out after you started dating? I'm assuming you're negotiating whether you should break up with them, pause the relationship. I'm guessing that's what they're asking. I don't know that to be a fact, or maybe it's just a general, what do I do? I just found out they're addicted to pornography. I think you have a lot of options. And I think a lot of it has to do with your comfort level. I think if anybody is addicted to anything, they have to deal with that addiction, or else it will have an impact on your relationship if it hasn't already had an impact on your relationship.
And that's a bar.
Like, it's whether it is today or it is down the road, you're going to see the fruit of that addiction if it's not dealt with. And if you might have to do some searching within yourself of how you feel about their addiction, and understanding that they had this private life that didn't include you, especially when it comes to pornography. So that is on a very basic level. There's some deep work that needs to be dug up because there is potential for.
Okay.
All right.
That was weird.
That's weird.
That's weird. Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't remember what I was saying.
Yeah.
If they're addicted and you found out after you started dating. If you want to break up with him, you have full freedom to break up with him. If you want to attempt to walk it out with him, you can also do that. I would encourage you to proceed with caution. Again, I'm going to come back to whoever your accountability is or whoever's discipling you to walk that with them in close communion, because we're not with you, right? We don't know the details of that situation or what that addiction is looking like in their life. But I know addiction is a problem and it causes problems. And so I would encourage you to proceed with caution. I don't think you necessarily have to break up with him or you have to stay with him. If you're feeling uncomfortable and it's not something you want to deal with, I think it's perfectly okay to say, hey, this is above my pay grade. I need you to deal with that. And then maybe we can have a conversation in the future about what our relationship looks like. And if they want to deal with it, they deal with it. If they don't, then you've removed yourself from that situation. Right. I think that's okay too. So just offering you the freedom to say, nope, not right now, or to walk it out if you want to. I guess.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. I think we all understand in the Christian sphere that pornography is an infection that will destroy relationships from the inside out. And so it's not your responsibility as a significant other to be there for them through that. It is their responsibility to deal with it. And you can be an encourager for sure, but it is not your responsibility to walk with them through that thing. Again, they need community. They need the discipleship. They need a mentor that's going to walk with them through that. So hope that helps. Doris, James 5. That's why I couldn't find
you're
it.
in the wrong verse.
Wrong chapter.
Wrong chapter, I mean.
Yes. Confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's good.
Let's see. What are your thoughts on living together while engaged or dating? Don't do it.
It's just a no.
It's
a big fat no. And here's the thing.
I know people say like, oh, you got to test the car, you got to figure out your problems. But here's the thing. When you go to buy a car, you're not thinking about having that car forever. You're either leasing it or it has like a 10-year lifeline. Like most people are not keeping a car forever. So that just wipe it out of your mind. You don't need to test it out. Either they are your person or they're not your person. Make a choice and live that choice. But no, you don't need to test it out. That's our personal opinion. Again, you're free to do whatever you like. I don't think it's in your best interest, though, especially if you're trying to abstain until you're married. The more, again, if you intertwine your lives before you're married, your lives are going to be intertwined before you're married. And if at any point you need to cut ties, it will be increasingly difficult, not just on a very physical, practical level, but on an emotional level, because you have integrated someone so deeply into your life. To just be like, nope, I don't want to do this anymore is not going to be easy.
In the same vein, right? Because again, a lot of the time we talk about these physical boundaries that you should set up, but we miss the spiritual boundaries that we set up. One of the things that I tell my mentees, if you will, it's always weird to say that, but that is what they are, is to something as simple as if you're going to church and your significant other is also going to church, don't sit by them. And without fail, they always tell me that their friends clown them. And in some cases, even it causes a little bit of strife with their significant other because everybody else is doing it. Let's be honest, everybody else is doing it. But the truth of the matter is, if you go to the same church, great. That means you're being fed from the same plate. So that means you guys are growing, hopefully in the same direction. That's awesome. However, in the same way that we don't believe that you should live with someone beforehand because it creates intimacy in moments, and it makes that if you do need to break up, it makes that break harder. In the same way, sitting with your significant other in a Bible study or at church, right? Should you need to break up, now one of you is going to have to sit in a new spot.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. It's not that deep. It's as simple as I've been sitting in the same spot for months. This is my spot. And now when I come in, I am reminded simply by where I'm sitting that my life looks different today. And so I can't even focus on the word as I should be able to because of my surroundings being drastically different.
Or you take a pause from going altogether to not deal with the awkwardness, or you change churches or whatever the case may be because you don't want to deal with it. Just don't set yourself up for unnecessary discomfort in that category is our belief or opinion. We already answered this. Should Christian couples do Bible studies together? We don't think so. So I'm going to move to the next one.
If you guys need more clarification on that,
you got to run it back.
Feel free to run it back. We also have a podcast on it. Or if you feel like we didn't answer it, by all means, use the chat. That's what that's for.
Let's see. How do you approach communication in an argument when long distance?
How do you approach communication in an argument that's long distance?
Yeah. I think first and foremost, you got to use FaceTime, or I don't know if you have Androids. I don't know what y'all use, but you gotta get as much physical or like visual as you can. I think that will be helpful, just being able to see someone's facial reactions and things like that.
Practically, text messages are not the way to go.
And a phone call, pretty good, but I think it's just very helpful, especially if it's a very heated argument, to see someone's face, to see like, oh, they sound angry, but they actually look like they're on the brink of tears. Little things, little nuances like that are helpful when you're trying to understand where someone's coming from, especially if it's pretty heated. As for actually communicating, I think communication skills are the same across the board, whether you're sitting across from each other or you're in different states on FaceTime. You got to approach it with respect, and seek to understand the other person more than be understood. I think that's a skill you need for marriage. I've always found that when we're beefing with each other, the minute we're both trying to be understood and be right, or like get the other to apologize, the conversation, it doesn't happen, and the breakdown lasts. The argument just gets worse and worse. The minute one of us humbles ourselves and says, you know what, I hear that you're hurt, let me understand this better, is the minute the conversation de-escalates and we can actually make progress. And so that's what I would encourage you to do. If you're in that conversation, if you're not being respectful, if you're not willing to understand and kind of give space for the other person, then maybe take a beat and come back to the conversation when you're in a headspace that allows you to actually show up with the love and the care that you have for that person. That's what we always try to do, is lead with your love, even when you're angry. Because if you lead with the love, it gives space for you to actually communicate the frustration that you're feeling, the anger, the hurt, whatever, in its authenticity, and not from a protective, defensive place of, you hurt me, now you need to make it right, versus I was really, really hurt by this, and this is why. I think I found that to be more successful. So,
and then I'll say this little bitty piece. Jordan B. Peterson says in a conversation about conflict, most Americans and most people avoid conflict. And so on a very, very baseline practical sense in regard to you and your significant other, even being long distance, Jordan B. Peterson, who is a professing Christian, I don't follow his faith journey like that, but this is more of just a psychological relationship thing here, and that is conflict often and resolve quickly. That's what he believes makes marriages stronger. Most people avoid conflict, so they conflict infrequently, and then they resolve not so great. It's a long process because there's cold shoulders and all the thing. But he said the strongest marriages he sees are the ones that conflict often. So every time you have that bad thought or a doubt or an argument in your head, you go ahead and voice it and you knock it out as a couple, get it over with.
All right. What can couples do to maintain closeness and ensure their relationship endures through graduation and beyond?
Read that one more time. My brain was doing flips.
What can couples do to maintain closeness and ensure their relationship endures through graduation and beyond? I'm going to say a hard truth.
Go ahead.
Relationships are work because you're dealing with another human. But if y'all are really into each other, it's not going to take all that to want to talk to them, to want to hang out with them, to invest your time, your money, your energy into them. And if it is a lot of energy or a big push, I think that's a point to pause and evaluate, because that's going to be a long lifetime
That is.
of, oh, all right, I got to write them a letter, or, oh, I got to go get them some flowers. You don't want to sign up for that. You want to be all in, over the moon. Like, you should be chomping at the bit to see your person, to hang out with your person, to do things that make them smile and bring joy and enjoy each other's company. And if you're not, there's no shade. That just may not be it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's it, but it could be a point where you just pause and say, I don't know if this is it, because I'm not really that excited.
Yeah.
Because your excitement is going to wane in marriage as you add kids, as you add deaths in the family, as you lose jobs, as you gain jobs, as you move countries, you move states. Like, all of the things that life throws at you, that excitement is going to wane to invest in that other person and that relationship. That's just a part of the cycle, because life is going to throw things at you. So you want to go in with an absorbent amount of energy, excitement. And so I think that is one big thing. And the other thing is, I guess, to give you a more direct answer, is that I think the maintenance of that relationship comes with the intentionality and the investment. So be intentional with the phone calls if you're long distance. Be intentional with, maybe you send them a little gift in the mail or deliver flowers. Like, it doesn't have to be extravagant. Just show them, hey, I'm thinking about you. I'm planning for the next time we're getting together. I'm planning for a life with you. I think that goes a very long way. And affirming the other person of your interest and investment in them. And then in turn, they are showing that investment towards you. And ladies, that means you to the guys too. This is not just the homies sitting stuff for their girls. Girls, y'all need to be on it too. Like, show him that you're into him.
Never believe that you know them completely.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Never believe that you know them completely. Jordan's favorite color is blue. Is your favorite color blue right now?
No.
We couldn't have planned that better. Couldn't have planned that better, right? Because if I say to myself, oh, we've talked about all of those things.
Yeah.
I know what her favorite candy was when we were dating, but she's not as sugary anymore in her older. She doesn't eat.
In her older age, bruh.
It's been 12 years. It's been 12 years. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Guys, I'm not even 30 yet.
Yeah, it's been 12 years. Anyway, let's keep it going. But the reality is, as she's gotten older, her taste buds have changed.
Yeah.
So when we were dating, she loved the Snickers. That was her candy bar of choice. It's not that anymore. It's morphed. And so, and when you're thinking about that closeness that you're seeking with your significant other, don't be afraid to revisit old questions that you think you know already, and maybe have changed.
Yeah. Let's see. What advice would you have for someone who has already introduced sexual sin in a previous relationship and continues to struggle with it in a new relationship? I think we kind of answered that with the previous question, so definitely circle back to that. I think the simple answer is that I guess it depends. Here you say you introduced it in a previous relationship. Are you wanting to continue that? Are you wanting to change that? I think that's a good starting point, because some people do it and they're totally fine with it and they don't care to change that behavior. If you're wanting to change that behavior, accountability, community.
I think in regard to that, I think maybe what they're saying is, because they've already walked through that door, it's hard to close it. And that's a true statement.
That's fair.
You know, once you have tasted the fruit, and that's not to be grotesque or vulgar, but once you have tasted the fruit, in the same way that God kicked Adam and Eve out because they knew something that they didn't know before. Once you have kissed another person, or once you have experienced intimacy like that, it's very difficult to not continue to walk through that door, which is why those boundaries need to be set in the first place. And so if
I'll have an example.
Okay.
So we had some friends who have had some experiences. And so for them, when they're now married, but in their dating life, they decided to put up some harsh parameters because it was very important to them that they abstain until marriage.
Yeah.
So these friends did not kiss. I don't even know if they held hands for real. Like, it was like a quick hug and then get out my space, bro, because I'm not trying to do anything I shouldn't be
Because
doing.
they knew
Yeah.
with just a little flick of flame,
Mm-hmm.
they would have a forest fire.
Yeah.
Whereas for Jordan and I, it's just we could hold hands, we can do those things.
Yeah.
And that's where individual boundaries come into play.
Yeah. There's
right?
not a set,
Mhm.
this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing. You have to know yourself, and your person has to know themselves. And then you have to set individual boundaries
Mhm.
and assure that those align within your relationship.
That's right.
But
That's
it's not a couple boundary. It was individual. So that those friends said, for me, this is a boundary. They said, for me, this is a boundary.
Yep.
And then their boundaries aligned, so they were able to honor each other in those boundaries.
Right.
But they were individual boundaries that were honored in their
right.
relationship. It was not a relational boundary.
That's right. So to you or whoever that was, if the boundary you set, right? Because what you're saying here is there's a person in your life who has had those experiences and they continue to operate in that. So they have not set, in your opinion, proper boundaries around sexual desire. And so you're trying to ask yourself, should I maybe enter into that? And the reality is, you set boundaries around yourself. I will not have sexual relations.
Mm-hmm.
If they cannot honor your boundaries, it's not about their boundaries, it's about your boundaries. If they cannot honor your boundaries, then you know it's time to cut it off. It's just that simple. Whether they're doing it or not doesn't actually matter. What matters is whether you are doing it or not. And if you find yourself being compromised, that's when you know it's time to go. They're no longer honoring your boundaries.
Messing it up. 10. How does mental clarity with yourself and God help a relationship? Do you have to have a clean mental mind in order for a relationship to happen? I mean, no, we see plenty of unhealthy relationships in this world. You don't have to have a clean mental mind. I don't recommend it, though.
It's not helpful.
Yeah, it's not helpful, but can you get into a relationship and not be in a mentally healthy place?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, whoever y'all in the chat, wherever y'all are, as y'all already seen, I know a lot of scripture, but I don't know the references to those scriptures. Unfortunately, I can't tell you where, but I would love if you guys told me and told the rest of the people in the chat where to find taking your thoughts captive.
Oh, yes.
The Bible speaks on the
Timothy?
importance. If I knew, I would have told him. I don't know, but I know it's in there.
I'm bad at references. Let me not misdirect y'all.
Take your thoughts captive. Why? Not because the thought shouldn't be there, but because Christ is speaking to us, telling us the thought's going to come. The important part is not never having the thought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hey, are we back?
We're back.
That was stressful, guys. Very stressful. Whew.
Wowza. Tragic.
All right, let's just hop back in. How funny, we're talking about mental clarity, and then that has us.
I'm in a tizzy for sure.
Now we're in a tizzy talking about mental clarity. We were talking about mental clarity. Someone found the scripture, 2 Corinthians 10:5.
Yes,
taking every thought captive.
Yes.
I think that is important for at any point in your relationship, and I think it only aids your relationship.
Real quick, if you are here, could you type into the chat whether or not this is live and you can see us, or whether it's choppy, whether it's videos distorted.
Still frozen.
I've got Matt and Danny saying we're back. I'm assuming that means we're good. Anybody else? Anybody else having solidness?
Okay, I got 2. We're back.
We can hear you guys.
Okay, sweet.
Okay, excellent. If you cannot hear, maybe refresh. We're so back. We can hear y'all.
Okay, sweet.
We apologize. We will have a solution.
Yeah. We'll solve for the next
maybe
time.
need an Ethernet cable for next
If there's
go
a
around.
next time.
Yeah. Oh, was that supposed to be a teaser? Wow. Okay. Yep. People are starting to come back in now.
Okay.
Sorry about that, y'all.
Embarrassing.
Whether or not you heard, we'll pause there because we do want to get to some other ones. But
yeah.
Essentially, take your thoughts captive. People. We saw some people, or two people. 2 Corinthians 10 and 5. Multiple people saying Corinthians, and the importance of taking your thoughts captive. Jordan spoke to it, although unfortunately it seems that a lot of people were not here to experience it. It said that it was up and live on our side, but I don't think it was. But taking your thoughts captive is important. And I don't know exactly what you said.
Spiritually, take your thoughts captive. Practically, go to therapy.
Yeah.
That is the summary. If you have something that is maybe deeper going on that you need, other support.
Yeah.
Go to a therapist, talk it out. The word says confess. You can't take anything captive that you don't identify first. So
that's good.
Identify what it is that needs to be taken captive so you can take captive.
That's very good.
So that was the summary of that. We'll keep moving.
Real quick, we're going to take we've got some DMs that of people wanting to know. Why are you not just putting it in the thread, y'all? Put it in the thread.
Y'all.
We got some DMs.
We're going to start putting our phones away so y'all stop texting us.
As to some things that y'all want to say. If there are questions that you want, we'd love to hear from you who are with us because you've taken the time to listen to us live. So if you have a question, we'd love to hear.
I think they want to be anonymous. I think that's it. And on here, they can't be anonymous.
They can't be anonymous. That's fair. That's fair.
So, okay, fair.
That's fair. Well, if you don't know, you can message us on Instagram or you can hit us on YouTube. I think YouTube has a messenger too. I don't know.
Yeah.
But here's a question, and it says, what is your opinion on coming into the relationship with personal issues? How do you know when to approach the relationship? Or in a sense, when are you ready? Sanctification still occurs during the relationship.
Yeah, you're always going to have stuff. That's unavoidable.
Yep.
Just as you think, like there's no peaking in Christ because we're not Christ himself, which means the humanity of us needs to constantly reflect him. So set your mind at ease in that category. There's always going to be something that you could grow in, refine, and better reflect Christ in.
Yeah.
Ready, I guess, is kind of a funky thing.
I think we have to go back, to Christ again with the parable of the virgins. Who was ready? All of them showed up where the groom told them to stand. So they're all standing outside in the night. So all of them were ready, and yet only 5 of them were ready. There's a double down. Only 5 of them had enough oil to last through the night. And so for some people, they will be ready to date. And for some of you, you think you're ready, but you're not. And I know that's not super helpful, but what I'm really trying to get to is your readiness. What are your resources? What have you accumulated, using the parable now, what have you accumulated that has allowed you to say that you're ready? If you're thinking that you're ready because of you yourself, you've missed. You yourself will likely never be ready to date. However, what have you acquired? In the case of the virgins, the 10 virgins, they acquired oil in I'm not saying this was the point of the parable, but we can equate oil to the Spirit. So the anointing there, have you acquired the Spirit to guide you, or are you trying to guide yourself? Okay. Have you gathered community to surround you with accountability, or are you counting on your own effort, your own striving, your own self-control to be able to last throughout this relationship? Have you acquired just practical knowledge? Have you read a book on dating? Have you listened to sermons on dating? What have you gathered to yourself to help you be ready for dating, or are you just relying on your own self-control, your own wisdom, your own knowledge, if you will? Hopefully that helps.
Yeah. Let's see.
No other questions, it seems. Okay.
How do you know how much to value the chemistry / click y'all have versus the wife characteristics / their spiritual baseline?
Read that one more time.
How do you know how much to value the chemistry and the click
Mhm.
versus the wife characteristics and spiritual baseline?
Can I answer this one?
Yeah, go for it.
So if I'm hearing it correctly, this person recognizes that he and his maybe crush have chemistry. They're clicking. There's some sparks flying. And that is one category. And maybe, just maybe, spiritually, there's not the maturity that's there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you differentiate between the click
And
chemistry and the
spiritual baseline?
and the
Wife
spiritual
characteristics.
baseline, wife characteristics? I think it's important that you have chemistry with your wife. So let me start there. I deeply, deeply disagree with anyone who would say that spiritual maturity is the only grounds for a wife. Going to Genesis 3, when Adam wakes up, God makes Eve from his rib. He puts Adam to sleep, pulls a rib out, fashions Eve. And when Adam wakes up, he looks at her, he beholds her, and he says, "Whoa." Whoa. I heard a few pastors say, "Whoa, man," and that's how you got woman. That's not how it happened, but he does say, "Whoa,
Tangents.
flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. This thing right here,
Okay.
that's mine." Am I going too far?
Okay.
I probably am.
Okay.
But also, he looks at her and he recognizes there's something serious about this. He looks at her. And so there is a chemistry, there's a click, there's an attraction. Come on, yes.
All right. I think the internet is telling us to wrap it up.
Yeah, we will definitely take a look at our Wi-Fi. And I mean, we have good Wi-Fi. We have great Wi-Fi, but clearly it's spotty. It's dropping. So we apologize with that. Let's do, what was that? That was, chemistry is important.
Mm-hmm.
And spiritual maturity is important. It's not an either or, it's a both and.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're looking for a
There's
significant
no hierarchy.
other, correct.
That is the question. Is it yes or is it no?
Yep. If you're not physically attracted to them,
it's a no.
It's a no. If they're not spiritually mature, it's a no. If they're spiritually mature, but they're spiritually mature in astrology, it's a no. If they're spiritually mature, but they're spiritually mature in Islam, it's a no. If they're spiritually mature as a daughter or son of the Most High God, Jesus Christ, it's a yes. In the same way that if they are attractive, you find them attractive, it's a yes. For now, because when you're dating, you are evaluating. And so I just want to say also, just because they're attractive and spiritually mature doesn't mean they're your wife or husband. I'll say that one more time because some of you guys don't believe that. Just because they are attractive and spiritually mature in Christ doesn't mean that they are your wife or husband. They can be both of those things. And during the evaluation process, you come to the conclusion that this isn't the one for you. Lean into that. It's okay. There's somebody else. We're going to do one more question.
There's so many good ones.
I know. The Wi-Fi.
I just want to answer them all.
Driving me crazy.
Okay, can I do like two like rapid fire ones that are like the same? Okay, so this is if boundaries keep getting broken, should we break up? And then the other question that's very similar, if we've already been together and have fallen or don't have boundaries, is it too late? So essentially the idea, you're already together, boundaries have been broken. Do you need to break up? I think that if boundaries are being broken, you guys really need to assess why those boundaries are being broken. Because if you can't honor the boundaries now, that's the muscle you're practicing. So when you get married, that same behavior is going to show up. It might show up differently, but the inability to honor your boundaries today is going to produce fruit that won't allow you to honor boundaries tomorrow.
That's good.
If you can't honor your boundaries today, who's to say you can honor your marital vows?
That's great. Sheesh.
If you can't keep your hands off each other's today, and you said that's what you're going to do, well, when you get married, who's to say you're going to be able to keep your hands inside of your covenant?
That's good, because self-control is a muscle that you're practicing and flexing currently, tomorrow, and next year.
The muscles we strengthen or the muscles we use are the muscles that get stronger.
That's good.
So if you lack self-control today, you're still going to lack it tomorrow, and it might look different. It might show up differently, but it's still a lack of self-control. So you need to deal with that individually. And if you need to break up to accomplish that, get to it. If you can do it together, then congratulations. But as shown by the lack of boundaries or the broken boundaries, I would question if maybe you guys need to deal with yourselves. Okay. And I think this is a good one because it says, why can't I move on? This person has failed me emotionally so many times and I can't seem to get them out of my head. And I think that goes to the whole premise that we've been talking about, which is you have to have boundaries because you need to cut this person off and you can't. And I would be curious what boundaries that you guys had in place.
Right. Because let's say this person's emotionally abusive, right? Let's just go to the full extreme. They belittle you. They make you feel bad about yourself. They trap you maybe in your mind or with their words, right? If your boundary was that you're not going to receive that type of anything from a significant other or a husband, it would have been over. And that's not even to say that it's easy, but it is to say that that boundary, it restricts you and it also releases you. And so if I don't have boundaries in my life, I don't know when they've crossed the line. And so it's important for you to have boundaries, not even sexually, but emotionally, right? Conversationally. If your significant other is saying things to you, and you have not said to yourself, this is how I want my significant other to talk to me. If you haven't had that conversation with yourself, you are setting yourself up to have that emotional confusion when it comes to letting go.
Yeah. That's what you're experiencing. Confusion. Between.
So, yeah.
All right. Which one do you want to do?
Last one. And then
I think we should do one of those.
Okay.
32 or 33.
How do you not bring past trust issues into a new relationship because of an old relationship that caused it? How do you not bring past issues or past trust issues into a new relationship because of an old relationship that caused it? Somebody just texted us and it popped up while we were reading it. That's good.
It's going to show up.
It's going
You're going to do a whole lot of work to make sure that you're healed and that you've done all the work and that it's not going to show up. But here's the thing. When you get into a relationship, you're going to be put in new environments that you weren't able to work through outside of that relationship. And so those trust issues are going to show up again. It's not a problem that they showed up. We are all human and we all have stuff that's going to show up in the relationship. It's what you do when they show up.
That's good.
Can you identify, oh, shoot, this is the root of trust issues. So let me deal with myself and not take it out on my partner. Let me take a step back and say, I am being triggered by my experiences and my beliefs about those experiences and deal with myself before I ever talk to my partner. And then when you get to that, your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and you say, show up with the humility of, I have struggled with this in the past. And when I see this behavior, when I have this experience, it reminds me of that. And that's have the really conversation good. From that place, not from a place of persecution. You did this, you're wrong, you need to fix this, because that's not the conversation. You've already identified you have a problem.
Comparison kills so many things, whether it be careers, whether it be joy, happiness, comparison kills. And so you saying, for example, my last boyfriend used to do that and it used to drive me crazy.
Not helpful.
It's not helpful. However, focus on the action, not the boyfriend or the girlfriend, the action. Hey, I've noticed that when you do blank, it really causes an emotional turmoil within me. I'm working on it myself and I'm trying to get through that. However, I just need you to know that if I respond in a way that seems maybe um, exaggerated or in a way that seems maybe over the top for the situation, I need you to know that I do have a history, I do have a past or whatever, and I'm working through that. Again, the moment you bring up that old person, I think even if you're trying to say he was bad, you're good,
It's
what you're really saying is, I see him in you, or I see her in you, and it makes me mad. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody. What?
Yeah,
you see your ex in me? Huh? You broke up with him, so what does that mean for me? You know? So yeah, stay away from that if possible. And yeah,
I just want to
you
keep
want to keep
going.
going.
Okay, can I do one more? Can I do one more? And then I promise I'll be done. I promise I'll be done. I just want to answer all their questions. This is a real scenario. That's really what I want to get to. Is like, I really want to help you with their real scenarios. Okay. So this person is, how can I love a daughter of God that he has placed in my life when I struggle to love myself the way God calls me to? Love thy neighbor as thyself.
Okay. Say it one more time. Read it one more time. Slow.
How can I love a daughter of God that he has placed in my life when I struggle to love myself the way God calls me to? I don't know if you can. I don't know that you can love someone in the fullness of something you don't have within yourself. And so that's a hard truth. I think it's uncomfortable and it's probably very disappointing, but I think that you have to come to a greater understanding and belief of the love of the Father and hold that within yourself, because your love for another person is an outpouring. It's not this thing that's just existing outside of you. And so if inside of you, it's kind of like how we say, like, when someone's being mean to you, oftentimes we're like, that's a reflection of them more than it is a reflection of you. And it's true. There's bitterness, there's anger, there's frustration, there's disappointment, there's whatever negative in them. And out what's in them is flowing out of them. It says out of the mouth the heart speaks. So if you don't have love in you, you can't pour love out. So that's what I would implore you with, is that you really got to sit down and tussle it out with God. Why is it that you don't believe that you are lovable? Why don't you believe that you are deserving of the love of God in the fullness that he offers it to you? I think you have to answer those questions. And as you grapple with those questions and really wrestle with the root of that, you will begin to love her in the way that Christ has called you to love her.
That's good. And just a little bit of a thing on the tail end of that. If you don't believe you're worthy of love, it's not that having somebody love you won't be helpful, right? There, you will feel some good things, but in the same way that you're not able to receive God's love, who is literally the creator of everything, the truth of the matter is you'll be in a great relationship with a great girl or guy, and they'll feel like they're hitting a brick wall because you won't truly receive their love either. And it's not their fault, just like it's not God's fault. You have to open up. You've got to break down whatever walls you have so that you can truly receive the totality of their love, or else the other person will probably end up frustrated, even if they're in it for the right reasons, because it feels like you've always got a wall or a mask up. So I agree. I think it's really important that you work on that reception so that you don't, it's reciprocal. Love should be reciprocal.
You can pour it out, but you can also receive it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good addition to that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
We're done. Hey guys, we are so thankful that you guys chose to, one, join us, but to two, to push through these technical difficulties. You can leave it right here in this chat thread, or you can let us know. Feel free to message us on Instagram. What's our Instagram handle?
Guest Room Podcast.
Guest Room Podcast. And we would love to know whether this was helpful, one. Two, whether this was cool, fun to interact with us live. I liked it personally. It was awesome to see you guys coming in with your messages and encouraging us. If we said something nice, it was cool to see or that's good or let's go. I really liked this format, but I don't want to just do it because I like it. So if you guys enjoyed this, please let us know. Drop a comment, drop whatever. Let us know. Message us, and we will certainly be looking at doing something like this again if it was beneficial. And next time having an Ethernet cable or something because the dropped Wi-Fi was frustrating. So yeah, I am so thankful. Again, my name's Justice. This is Joe, my wife, and this is the guest room. And we hope that you guys felt welcome and that this conversation was awesome. We'll see you guys next time.
Let's see.